Trinity Health of New England's 61-day challenge is focusing on mind, body, and spirit for 2020. And this morning, we're revisiting the topic of mindfulness and how we can use it to be more compassionate, not only towards ourselves, but of course, others around us. And joining us once again this morning is Peter Callahan. He's the leadership coach and director over at Copper Beech Institute. Peter, good morning to you.
Good morning, Maggie. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you. All right, so Peter, what you're saying is that our brains are wired to help us accomplish more together rather than alone. Please explain, what is this all about?
Absolutely. So we talked about how, mindfulness is like the gym for our awareness, right? We pick an object like our breath or our hands or some sensation and continuously bring our attention back to that present moment, to that breath, and that helps us strengthen this muscle. Well, the really great news is that this same practice can actually help grow our muscles of empathy and compassion as well. So at Copper Beech Institute, we really focus on evidence-based practices, and brain scans and research are really showing that this practice really strengthens connections, our neural connections, and allows us to have more relaxed, be more focused, and make better decisions, and so often the reality is what's best for us is also overall best for others, right? Because we're all inextricably connected, but it can take some perspective, some practice to step back and pause and actually see that bigger picture.
Which is fascinating. So in another way, you're kind of saying that being generous is also being selfish because we're being good to ourselves too.
Right, exactly. And when you think about it, when we evolved, we truly needed each other, right? You go hunting and gather the food, I'll get some water and firewood, somebody else will go build the shelter. Now we have Siri and Alexa to take care of so much of this for us, right? But we're more anxious and lonely as a whole than we've ever been before. So taking the time to notice the impact of our habits, of our choices, and really reflecting our thoughts, our emotions, whether that's through meditation or journaling or some mindful movement, but just giving ourselves some time can help us realize how much we want to be around each other and help each other. Even if our neighbor feels a little bit annoying, there's a lot of benefit in doing things for each other and together, and even our family during these holidays, because we have so much more in common than we do separately. And one of my favorite tools in this space, Maggie, is to ask, even with your family member, instead of what's wrong with you, can you offer up what's happened to you or what's going on with you? We're all doing our best. We've all come to this moment trying our hardest to be the best people we can, and we're all perfectly imperfect. And can we have a little bit of patience and compassion for each other? Ironically, that may be the best thing we can do to help ourselves.
I'm so glad that we're revisiting this topic because there's just so much that we could get into. And if somebody is thinking about starting the practice of mindfulness, the holidays, as you mentioned, you're going to be with your family, you're going to be probably at home this year. It's not too late to get into it, and we shouldn't think, that it requires a lot. Anybody can dive into mindfulness, right?
Exactly. I think we've talked about this in some other segments, but really just taking a couple of breaths, just taking a moment. This can be in the car before you head in, or before you click on the Zoom link, however you're celebrating the holidays, or downloading an app, or just going to the bathroom and checking in. Really, it starts with not wanting to feel differently, but noticing how we're feeling now and allowing that to be okay. It's giving ourselves compassion that we're just a living, breathing human who's going through something right now, so that we can calm ourselves down and offer that same kindness to each other. That's available to us in every single moment.